Hey, look, it's a TheDinoCollector, yay!
Hey everyone, Nate from TheDinoCollector, and today we will be taking a look at the Bandai movie monster series Godzilla 1991 Color Renewal version. Now for those of you who are unaware, this is indeed a recolored version of the original Bandai movie monster series Godzilla 1991, which was released around a year ago. Alright, this is probably one of my favorite movie monster series releases, right up there with Godzilla 2004. But of course, like any other release, let's just take a look at the tag here, and finally, this is indeed a proper image of Godzilla 1991, and not, you know, the 1989 design, which I believe was the original design for the tag. So it's great that they finally got an accurate image of Godzilla. But yeah, you can see it has like the picture of Godzilla 1991. It says Godzilla 1991, Godzilla, Godzilla 2024. Alright, now opening up the tag here, you see all the basic movie monster series stuff with the silhouette of Godzilla 1991, Godzilla 1991, Godzilla, basic summary and stuff like that. And on the back of the tag, it shows a cutout of Godzilla's dorsal fins with the Bandai Namco, Movie Monster Series, Movie Monster Series, and Godzilla Taikin Ghidorah. And that's pretty much it. Alright, let's get Godzilla into his top loader here. Hold on. There you go. Get inside, and yeah, that's the best I could do for now. Alright, now that we're done with that, let's just take a look at Godzilla's articulation. Obviously, you will get nothing at the tail, nothing at the head, but you will get a back and forth at the arms. Yes, both arms can do so, and the legs can go all the way around like so. Alright, and now that we're done with that, let's just take a look at Godzilla's painting and sculpting. Alright, first off, let's start off with this head here, and the head is the thing that everyone's been excited about ever since this mold was announced, and yeah, this mold looks really nice. Just look at all those lovely little details on the head here, and the top of his head at least. It looks absolutely fantastic with the large crest that the early Heisei Godzilla was known for. And yes, the other side looks absolutely amazing. The teeth look very nicely painted. I believe the teeth are indeed lighter, like a lighter shade of yellow compared to the original figure. And the mouth looks really nice too. Look at that nice red. I believe this is a darker shade of red compared to the original as well. Inside the mouth, you get some very lovely details in there. Look at that, it looks great. And you can see the tongue there is painted too. Alright, now taking a look at the rest of Godzilla's neck here, you get to see all that lovely details. All the lovely details there, they look great. On the other side is the exact same. And taking a look at the back of his neck here, you can see individually painted dorsal fins. And lastly, let's take a look at Godzilla's, like, face here. Alright, lastly, let's take a look at his face, and this is the thing that everyone's been talking about. Apparently, people were complaining about the whites of Godzilla's eyes, which I don't understand why you're complaining about that, because even in the movie, he had the whites in his eyes, so, like, I don't understand why you guys are complaining about that. However, I will say the only issue I kind of have with them is I feel like his eyes should be just a little bit smaller, because I feel like these are a bit too big. But yeah, you get some nice paint there, you get the white and the orange there, it looks great. And the best thing is that, like, all the details, they're sculpted into the head there. You can't really see it that well, but yeah, it's all sculpted in. So yeah, that basically means no wonk eye, it will just straight up just stare right in front of you. And now taking a look at Godzilla's body, we get some nice scales and some nice Godzilla scales here across the body here. It looks great. The lower part of Godzilla's body, like the crotchal area here, it's all nicely detailed until you get to, you know, here. It just randomly just stops, and I'm like, why? And just take a look at the folds in Godzilla's chest here. That looks absolutely fantastic. Taking a look at Godzilla's arm here, they're really nice and short, like how the Heisei Godzilla's arms are supposed to be. I love his hands here. They're really nice. And even the insides of his hands are detailed. On both sides, too. Granted, they're not painted all the way, but at least you still get the paint at the top, though. And lastly, moving on to Godzilla's large legs here. They're really thick, obviously, with the nice folds and muscles here, you can see them. The kneecaps are here, obviously, and his feet here, they're like standard Godzilla feet, although I will say, they're a bit too small. I think they should be like a little bit bigger, but this works just fine. And of course, at the bottom of the feet, you'll see it says trademark and Toho Co. Ltd. and Bandai China with a bunch of numbers. Lastly, let's move on to this tail here, and yes, there are some great details here. We'll talk about the paint on them later, but taking a look at the bottom of them, There's some minimal detail on here, which is nice. I could have wished there's more detail on them, but this works just fine. I love how it's like bent a little bit, so that's nice. And lastly, let's move on to my favorite part, Godzilla's dorsal fins. These dorsal fins look absolutely amazing, even compared to the original figure, which I believe this is a whiter color compared to the gray of the original figure, and it looks absolutely fantastic. They're painted in between too, like, oh my god, that's so good. And look at that, they're all individually painted little dorsal lumps, which I mentioned earlier, but they will indeed be individually painted all the way to the very tip, of Godzilla's tail. Yes, the very tip of him. Except maybe this little part, but like, who cares? Like, at least the rest of the tail is painted, and yes, they finally did it! Let's just take another couple seconds just to admire the amount of detail and sculpt that's on this thing. I love these dorsal fins. They're like perfectly sized. They're not too big, not too small, just perfect. However, the only issue on my copy is that these main few dorsal fins here, they don't look like they're fully painted, as you can see here. But they're like a little bit painted, so like that's mainly just on my copy, so yeah. Okay, so overall, I'm gonna give 1991 Godzilla a good 9.8 out of 10 in terms of paint and detail. Alright, that's pretty much it in terms of the paint and detail on this figure. Now let's take a look at Godzilla's size and size comparisons. Alright, so first off, Godzilla will stand a little bit over 6 inches tall. Here's that measurement, but a little bit closer. Alright, time for size comparisons. Here he is compared to the Bandai Movie Monster Series Mecha King Ghidorah, Bandai Movie Monster Series Space Godzilla Color Renewal version, the Bandai Movie Monster Series Mecha Godzilla 1993, which he is indeed shorter by about an inch, Bandai Movie Monster Series Mogera, and lastly, the Bandai Godzilla Island Monster Series Heisei Era Godzilla. Alright, and one thing I just want to point out real quick is that for some reason, he is taller than him for some reason. I have no clue why. And yeah, that's it. So overall, I'm gonna give the Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla 1991 Color Renewal version a good 9.9 out of 10. Mainly just because I absolutely love this figure. The dorsal fins look great, the painting and sculpting is amazing. The only point I actually have to take off is just because of the paint issue here, but that's mainly just on my figure. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, bye. Hey, what's up, guys? Just got a new camera. Let me know how it looks. New videos on the way.